this to Mujahid, who said, "Except the one who regrets one's crime." Volume 5, Book 58, number 195, narrated by Urwa bin Az-Zubair. I asked Ibn Amr bin al-As, "Tell me of the worst thing which the pagans did to the Prophet." He said, "While the Prophet was praying in the hijr of the Kaaba, Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt came and put his garment around the Prophet's neck and throttled him violently. Abu Bakr came and caught him by his shoulder and pushed him away from the Prophet and said, 'Do you want to kill a man just because he says, "My Lord is Allah"?' Volume 5, Book 58, number 196, narrated by Urwa as above, Hadith 195, Volume 5, Book 58, number 197, narrated by Ammar bin Yasir. I saw Allah's apostle, and the only converts to Islam with him were 5 slaves, 2 women and Abu Bakr. Volume 5, Book 58, number 198, narrated by Abu Ishaq Sa'ud bin Abi Waqqas. None embraced Islam except on the day I embraced it, and for 7 days I was one of the 3 persons who were Muslims, 1/3 of Islam. Volume 5, Book 58, number 199, narrated by Abdur Rahman. I asked Mazruk, who informed the Prophet about the jinns at the night when they heard the Quran. He said, "Your father Abdullah informed me that a tree informed the Prophet about them." Volume 5, Book 58, number 200, narrated by Abu Huraira. That once he was in the company of the Prophet carrying a water pot for his ablution and for cleaning his private parts. While he was following him carrying it, i.e. the pot, the Prophet said, "Who is this?" He said, "I am Abu Huraira." The Prophet said, "Bring me stones in order to clean my private parts, and do not bring any bones or animal dung." Abu Huraira went on narrating, "So I brought some stones, carrying them in the corner of my robe till I put them by his side and went away. When he finished I walked with him and asked, 'What about the bone and the animal dung?' He said, 'They are of the food of jinns. The delegate of jinns of the city of Nasibin came to me, and how nice those jinns were, and asked me for the remains of the human food. I invoked Allah for them that they would never pass by a bone or animal dung but find food on them." Volume 5, Book 58, number 201, narrated by Ibn Abbas. When Abu Dar received the news of the advent of the Prophet, he said to his brother, "Ride to this valley of Mecca, and try to find out the truth of the person who claims to be a prophet, who is informed of the news of heaven. Listen to what he says and come back to me." So his brother set out and came to the Prophet and listened to some of his talks and returned to Abu Dar and said to him, "I have seen him enjoining virtuous behavior and saying something that is not poetry." Abu Dar said, "You have not satisfied me as to what I wanted." He then took his journey food and carried a water skin of his, containing some water, till he reached Mecca. He went to the mosque and searched for the Prophet, and though he did not know him, he hated to ask anybody about him. When a part of the night had passed away, Ali saw him and knew that he was a stranger. So when Abu Dar saw Ali, he followed him, and none of them asked his companion about anything. And when it was dawn, Abu Dar took his journey food and his water skin to the mosque, and stayed there all the day long without being perceived by the Prophet. And when it was evening, he came back to his retiring place. Ali passed by him and said, "Has the man not known his dwelling place yet?" So Ali awakened him and took him with him, and none of them spoke to the other about anything, when it was the 3rd day. Ali did the same, and Abu Dar stayed with him. Then Ali said, "Will you tell me what has brought you here?" Abu Dar said, "If you give me a firm promise that you will guide me, then I will tell you." Ali promised him, and he informed Ali about the matter. Ali said, "It is true, and he is the apostle of Allah. Next morning when you get up, accompany me, and if I see any danger for you, I will stop as if to pass water, but if I go on, follow me and enter the place which I will enter." Abu Dar did so, and followed Ali till he entered the place of the Prophet, and Abu Dar went in with him. Abu Dar listened to some of the Prophet's talks, and embraced Islam on the spot. The Prophet said to him, "Go back to your people and inform them about it till you receive my order." Abu Dar said, "By him in whose hand my life is, I will proclaim my conversion loudly amongst them, that is the pagans." So he went out, and when he reached the mosque, he said as loudly as possible, "I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, and Muhammad is the apostle of Allah." The people got up and beat him painfully. Then Al-Abbas came and knelt over him, to protect him, and said to the people, "Woe to you! Don't you know that this man belongs to the tribe of Gifar, and your trade to Sham is through their way?" So he rescued him from them. Abu Dar again did the same the next day. They beat him, and took vengeance on him, and again Al-Abbas knelt over him, to protect him. Volume 5, Book 58, number 202, narrated by Qais. I heard said bin Zaid bin Amr bin Nufail saying in the mosque of Al-Kufa, "By Allah, I have seen myself tied and forced by Umar to leave Islam before Umar himself embraced Islam, and if the mountain of Uhud could move from its place for the evil which you people have done to Uthman, then it would have the right to move from its place." Volume 5, Book 58, number 203, narrated by Abdullah bin Masud. We have been powerful since Umar embraced Islam. Volume 5, Book 58, number 204, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. While Umar was at home in a state of fear, there came Al-As bin Wail as-Sami Abu Amr, wearing an embroidered cloak and a shirt having silk hems. He was from the tribe of Bani Sam, who were our allies during the pre-Islamic period of ignorance. Al-Az said to Umar, "What is wrong with you?" He said, "Your people claim that they would kill me if I become a Muslim." Al-Az said, "Nobody will harm you after I have given protection to you." So Al-Az went out and met the people streaming in the whole valley. He said, "Where are you going?" They said, "We want Ibn al-Khattab, who has embraced Islam." Al-Az said, "There is no way for anybody to touch him." So the people retreated. Volume 5, Book 58, number 205, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. When Umar embraced Islam, all the disbelieving people gathered around his home and said, "Umar has embraced Islam." At that time I was still a boy, and was on the roof of my house. There came a man wearing a cloak of dibaj, that is a kind of silk, and said, "Umar has embraced Islam. Nobody can harm him, for I am his protector." I then saw the people going away from Umar and asked who the man was, and they said, "Al-Az bin Wail." Volume 5, Book 58, number 206, narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. I never heard Umar saying about something that he thought it would be so-and-so, but he was quite right. Once, while Umar was sitting, a handsome man passed by him. Umar said, "If I am not wrong, this person is still on his religion of the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, or he was their foreteller. Call the man to me." When the man was called to him, he told him of his thought. The man said, "I have never seen such a day on which a Muslim is faced with such an accusation." Umar said, "I am determined that you should tell me the truth." He said, "I was a foreteller in the pre-Islamic period of ignorance." Then Umar said, "Tell me the most astonishing thing your female jinn has told you of." He said, "One day while I was in the market, she came to me scared and said, 'Haven't you seen the jinns and their despair, and they were overthrown after their defeat, and prevented from listening to the news of the heaven, so that they stopped going to the sky and kept following camel riders, that is Arabs?'" Umar said, "He is right," and added, "One day while I was near their idols, there came a man with a calf and slaughtered it as a sacrifice for the idols. An unseen creature shouted at him, and I have never heard harsher than his voice. He was crying, 'Oh, you bold evildoer, a matter of success. An eloquent man is saying, none has the right to be worshipped except you, O Allah.' On that the people fled, but I said, 'I shall not go away till I know what is behind this.' Then the cry came again, 'Oh, you bold evildoer, a matter of success. An eloquent man is saying, none has the right to be worshipped except Allah.' I then went away, and a few days later it was said, 'A prophet has appeared.'" Volume 5, Book 58, number 207, narrated by Qais. I heard Said bin Zaid saying to the people, "If you but saw me and Umar's sister tied and forced by Umar to leave Islam while he was not yet a Muslim, and if the mountain of Uhud could move from its place for the evil which you people have done to Uthman, it would have the right to do that." Volume 5, Book 58, number 208, narrated by Anas bin Malik. The people of Mecca asked Allah's apostle to show them a miracle. So he showed them the moon split in two halves, between which they saw the Hiram mountain. Volume 5, Book 58, number 209, narrated by Abdullah. The moon was split into two pieces, while we were with the Prophet in Mina. He said, "Be witnesses." Then a piece of the moon went towards the mountain. Volume 5, Book 58, number 210, narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas. During the lifetime of Allah's apostle, the moon was split into two places. Volume 5, Book 58, number 211, narrated by Abdullah. The moon was split into two pieces. Volume 5, Book 58, number 212, narrated by Ubaidullah bin Adi bin al-Qiyar, that Al-Miswar bin Makrama and Abdurrahman bin al-Aswad bin Abu Yaghuth had said to him, "What prevents you from speaking to your uncle Uthman regarding his brother Al-Walid bin Uqba?" The people were speaking against the latter for what he had done. Ubaidullah said, "So I kept waiting for Uthman, and when he went out for the prayer I said to him, 'I have got something to say to you as a piece of advice.' Uthman said, 'Oh man, I seek refuge with Allah from you.' So I went away. When I finished my prayer I sat with Al-Miswar and Ibn Abu Yaghuth, and talked to both of them of what I had said to Uthman and what he had said to me. They said, "You have done your duty." So while I was sitting with them, Uthman's messenger came to me. They said, "Allah has put you to trial." I set out, and when I reached Uthman he said, "What is your advice which you mentioned a while ago?" I recited Tashahhud, and added, "Allah has sent Muhammad, and has revealed the holy book, that is Quran, to him. You, O Uthman, were amongst those who responded to the call of Allah and his apostle and had faith in him, and you took part in the first 2 migrations, to Ethiopia and to Medina, and you enjoyed the company of Allah's apostle and learned his traditions and advice. Now the people are talking much about Al-Walid bin Uqba, and so it is your duty to impose on him the legal punishment." Uthman then said to me, "O my nephew, did you ever meet Allah's apostle?" I said, "No, but his knowledge has reached me, as it has reached the virgin in her seclusion." Uthman then recited Tashahhud and said, "No doubt, Allah has sent Muhammad with the truth, and has revealed to him his holy book, that is Quran, and I was amongst those who responded to the call of Allah and his apostle, and I had faith in Muhammad's mission, and I had performed the first 2 migrations as you have said, and I enjoyed the company of Allah's apostle, and gave the pledge of allegiance to him. By Allah I never disobeyed him and never cheated him till Allah caused him to die. Then Allah made Abu Bakr caliph, and by Allah I was never disobedient to him nor did I cheat him. Then Umar became caliph, and by Allah I was never disobedient to him nor did I cheat him. Then I became caliph. Have I not then the same rights over you as they had over me?" I replied in the affirmative. Uthman further said, "The what are these talks which are reaching me from you? As for what you have mentioned about Al-Walid bin Uqb, Allah willing, I shall give him the leg, punishment justly." Then Uthman ordered that Al-Walid be flogged 4 lashes. He ordered Ali to flog him, and he himself flogged him as well. Volume 5, Book 58, number 213. Narrated by Aisha Habiba and Salama, mentioned a church they had seen in Ethiopia, and in the church there were pictures. When they told the Prophet of this, he said, "Those people are such that if a pious man amongst them died, they build a place of worship over his grave, and paint these pictures in it. Those people will be Allah's worst creatures on the day of resurrection." Volume 5, Book 58, number 214, narrated by Khalid bint Khalid. When I came from Ethiopia to Medina, I was a young girl. Allah's apostle made me wear a sheet having marks on it. Allah's apostle was rubbing those marks with his hand, saying, "Sana, Sana," that is good, good. Volume 5, Book 58, number 215, narrated by Abdullah. We used to greet the Prophet while he used to be in prayers, and he used to reply to our greetings. But when we came back from Najashi, the king of Ethiopia, we greeted him while he was praying, and he did not reply to us. We said, "O Allah's apostle, we used to greet you in the past and you used to reply to us." He said, "Verily the mind is occupied and busy with more important matter during the prayer, so one cannot return one's greetings." Volume 5, Book 58, number 216, narrated by Abu Musa. We received the news of the departure of the Prophet to Medina while we were in Yemen. So we went on board a ship, but our ship took us away to An-Najashi, the Negus in Ethiopia. There we met Ja'far bin Abi Talib and stayed with him till we came to Medina, by the time when the Prophet had conquered Khaybar. The Prophet said, "O you people of the ship, you will have the reward of 2 migrations." Volume 5, Book 58, number 217, narrated by Jabir. When Negus died, the Prophet said, "Today a pious man has died, so get up and offer the funeral prayer for your brother Ashama." Volume 5, Book 58, number 218, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari. Allah's apostle led the funeral prayer for the Negus and made us stand in rows behind him, and I was in the 2nd or 3rd row. Volume 5, Book 58, number 219, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet offered the funeral prayer for Ashama, the Negus, with 4 takbir. Volume 5, Book 58, number 220, narrated by Abu Huraira. That Allah's apostle informed them, that is his companions, of the death of Negus, the king of Ethiopia, on the